Jeez.
Like,
Where am I going
Jesus
with this?
Christ.
Where am I going with this? I teach you C#, you teach me English, okay? You know I'm still recording. This is clearly going in the video. Alright, so
My
here we
Facebook
are
is dead,
with
man.
Jotako. Jotako Ninja, Jotako, whatever. From our Discord community. Yeah,
Hey, am I supposed to say hey?
Yeah, you're allowed to say
Hi.
hey. You're allowed to say hi.
Hey, thank you for bringing me along.
All right, so quick context. So I had added to the Discord server a little like RPG bot, and Jotako here made a bot so we could like play the game easily. How do you guys say that?
Easily? Yeah, easily.
Like more easily.
I mean, I guess it'd just be like
easierly, or just
basically just so you don't have to play it at all. Honestly.
yeah, there you go. So and he was asking me a bunch of questions about it and like how so I could like help him get this thing running. So then I asked him to send me his stuff, and then we kind of made this whole thing. And he had a bunch of questions about like how I made it and how like, because things he said to me was I don't get like most of the syntax to use, and like there's a lot of stuff in there I never saw. So I'm gonna go through that with him, and if he has questions or whatever, he's gonna go ahead and ask me. So if I forget something, if you as a beginner, you're probably gonna have questions. So for you guys, it's gonna be easier if he asks them like directly. So that's the whole point here.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm clicking on the design thing. I'm trying to get like a feel for the layout of the whole thing because I'm seeing button click, and I was just kind of wondering how things were being called, I guess. But yeah, you have the button click method going.
I should probably start by like running it and showing like everyone what it does. So
Right.
I'm gonna open like a notepad, but I don't think notepad is like in my recording though.
I see. Because I can see it on your thing,
Yeah,
but I guess the recording may not be able.
Yeah, I'm gonna do like.
Actually, is the record if the recording can't see that, can the recording see the command? The
Oh
the
yeah,
bot?
probably not. You're right. All right, look at that. I'm just gonna record like my whole screen. Okay, it's gonna be way easier. All right, there you go. Okay.
Perfect.
So I have this, which is like our form and our whole butt thing. I can like add any kind of text command. So in our case, it was like RPG unt, and I could say like what interval in seconds I wanted to like write this or call this, whatever I want to say. So like every like 2 seconds, can add this to the list, and then I can do like, I don't know, hello every 5 seconds or so. Then if I run this like here, every 2 seconds it's gonna write like RPG unt, and every 5 seconds it's gonna write hello. Should do a return after every single one.
What the fuck?
Usually, well, in Discord it was working just fine, so I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah, I don't see why. I don't know. Maybe it's like a speed thing or something.
Yeah, maybe no. Yeah, maybe Notepad is like, whoa, like you're pressing enter
apps
too
aren't without
fast
their
or
bugs.
whatever. But it works in Discord, okay? that's the point. That's what's important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there you go. That's what it does. Simple thing. All right. Yeah, you wanted to open like the how to open all the files.
Yeah, I think I've got it all open.
All right, because here you have like if you want the code from form, because if you just double click, it's gonna open like the window, the designer window. If you want the code, you can like press F7 or right click view code. So that's your actual code.
Oh, very sexy. I did not know that.
And there's the designer code. That's not that important, but I might go through it a bit. So that's like underneath it, like here, formdesigner.cs.
Right, because you wouldn't have done anything directly with that, right? That's all like auto-generated.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's I mean, for context, I mean, for people that just don't understand anything about this stuff, we're using like what is this called?
Windows form.
Forms.
Yeah, I'm
Windows
gonna go through
Forms,
that
yeah,
because I know you had you asked me the other day like what exactly is Windows form.
yeah. I mean, it's like I'm not sure if it's just like a little handicap or if it's more of like you need this to be able to
Well,
make a
it's kind of
goddamn
like an
window.
engine.
Right,
So
right.
it's what generates the windows and what like lets you put buttons and like boxes and labels and like the whole toolbox thing is like with Windows form. So it's kind of like a library or an engine if you want.
Oh, gee.
It's pretty much the whole like system.windows.forms library.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go like line by lines.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. I'm just gonna go start like with form 2 because it's like the simple one, and then
Okay.
we'll get into form 1 and then the whole thing. Cause yeah, all right. So first thing first, we have this little box here. So if you want to like add stuff, think you know how. I lost my freaking toolbox. View. Toolbox. Thank you. Okay. So you can just like grab whatever you want and put it there. But all of these are kind of like in Unity, you have like game objects. So those are accessible from your code. Like all the labels and all the text boxes and the buttons and stuff. In the bottom right corner, you have like all those like components or all those, can I say that, like data or things you can change on it. It's like all the variables from
Right.
this class of objects. So this is a text box, I think. So this is a text box, so that's everything that's in text box. So like you can change the color, you can change the window size or what it looks like, and you can give it a name for your code. So this one's called text command underscore text, and it's public. This is what's generated, like in the designer file here, right? You could write that down if you want, but it's auto generated. So now I can access it from like here, or my other forms. So this one is like text. I think I have it somewhere. Whatever, we'll get there. You can access it like that. So what this one does is just it adds stuff to the other one. Okay, maybe I should have started with that one.
That it was always the scariest shit I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah,
Anytime
the
I
error
deleted
thing,
something,
right?
I see it was like that specific error. It's like, dude, I just fucked up.
Yeah, I kind of had a problem with that one at first when I started with Windows Forms too. So
Am I allowed to swear on this? Am I supposed to swear?
sure, we don't mind.
Oh,
We're not even
okay.
monetized anyway, so.
That's fair.
So yeah, if you double click something, it's gonna add like a method, and it's gonna be like, oh, this is like the basic method for that object. So sometimes, like for buttons, it's gonna be like on click, so like that one. But like for text, it's like when the text is changed, or sometimes it's like for the label, it's like when the label is clicked. So if you do that by error, and then you're like, oh, I don't want that, and if you delete it, you're gonna have an error, which is that one that says, oh, like you don't have that exact like method in your code, and in your designer code, it says you need it. Like it says you do, because it generates that line in your designer code, which is like, hey, I added this event to my text comment.text that is that method. So I made a method that is like that is called text comment text change, and I added the event to it with that
And
thing.
so is the only fix for that to just delete the whole damn line?
You just delete the line and you're fine.
Okay, because that's all I was doing.
Yeah.
I was like, just get rid of that shit.
So it's also gonna do that error if like you change like, well, I'm just gonna do it again. Nope, forgot to save. Okay, come on. Oh, I had another one. Yeah. Sorry. All right. So if you like change that name, you're like, oh, I don't like it to be called like this, and I just want it to be called like text changed or whatever. You should have the error too, because here you said that was the name in your command, so just like change it for like the new one, and you're gonna be fine. I think. Oh, doesn't do it the opposite way though. All right. So there you go. Yeah, I'm gonna start with form one. Form one actually. Okay. So what is Windows Form? Because now I'm using it. So it's like every form you do is like a class. So I don't know if you're very aware of what classes do.
I think I have a pretty general understanding, but I don't see why you couldn't go over it.
All right, so it's kind of like a blueprint. So like, this is what every form number 2 will have. It's pretty simple, but they all have like a button 1, and they should also all have like these components. Because with forms they have like 2 files, but they do the same thing pretty much. So all these components are like all my variables, so the stuff I can access from this class, I guess, this form. Damn, I suck at this. It was like so clear in my head like yesterday, and now I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, because
it's
the
a
problem
it's a blueprint.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess my biggest issue there is methods make complete sense and namespaces make complete sense. Well, do they? Okay. What do you call the things at the top? Like where it says using system, using
Okay,
collections,
those
generic,
are it's how you call like your libraries. So because most of the stuff we have, like a timer, like timer is a class, right? Everything's in green is a class. So if I call timer, like system as a class called timer. So if I want to just say timer, I need to use this, because else I would have to write like system.timer.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. So yeah, that's the whole thing. I guess that that never was complicated. I guess I always forgot what to call it though. But it's just like it's what you use to fetch libraries.
Yeah, pretty much. It's it's pretty much your lines to fetch your libraries. So that's what the old timer thing was about earlier. Because system as a timer and Windows Form as a timer. So if I just say like timer whatever, it's gonna ask me like it's supposed to. Okay, maybe it wasn't in system then. Okay, I had an extra library I wasn't using. Cool. Well, I'm gonna go through that anyway because it's quite useful. So if sometimes it goes like, hey, like we don't know which timer you're trying to access because you have like multiple libraries you're using and like both of them have a timer in it, it's gonna go like, hey, which one you want? So then you can you're gonna have to write like the whole thing, like system done with those form dot timer. So that's what I did here, because I needed the timer from Windows Form and not like the other one, because they have different methods. Because they're not the same class, but they have the same name. That happens quite often. Namespace is kind of like for the same thing. So if you have like different projects, or you have like you made like your own engine or whatever, you can like make a namespace. Well, namespace is pretty much your library. So like everything here in the Form 1 library, so I can use like everything that has the namespace Form 1. Like my Form 2 has Form 1, because I just like didn't name it. I should probably name it like but I don't know. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Okay. But so
and
if
that was actually a question. If I was to control RR, let's just say, the Form 1 for that example.
Yeah, you rename.
Will it try to change that throughout just this one thing, or was it try to change it throughout the entire namespace?
It's gonna everywhere. It's gonna change it like everywhere in the current project, I think. So yeah.
Okay.
So everything that is a reference to this. So like like this is the name of the class, but this is also like my or how I call my class. So everywhere where it's that object in particular,
Okay, so like
not necessarily the same name,
into, like, right?
because here I have they're both called the same thing, but they're not the same thing.
Right. Okay.
This is
Sure.
my
As
class,
long as
and
it's
this is
like
my
actually
namespace.
the same.
Yeah, if it's the same item.
Gotcha.
So it's really powerful to like control RR for rename if you just want to rename something. All right, so a namespace can also, like, if I'm outside this namespace, let's say I have another namespace in my project. So I'm working on, like, I don't know, like I said, I have like my own engine I made and I give it a name like, I don't know, Maladiv engine, and I'm using it in my project. Well, I can do using Maladiv like engine, and this is gonna access like all my class in that namespace. So system is pretty much a namespace.
That's such like an out there concept. I'm not even gonna like start asking questions about that because that's like, wait, what the fuck? Oh, really?
Because now I'm inside it, so it's okay. I can use like everything from inside it. But if I do like I don't know, another file, let's do that, new file, another text file. I want like a C# file. Thank you. All right, and like this one is not in my namespace, right? So
right.
If I want to call like a form1, I can't. But if I do like using form, well, can I do this? Is it in the same project
that's
now?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm thinking, what the fuck?
Ah, that's because it's not in my project. Why is it not in the project? I just created like a freaking random class, like nowhere. Give me a second.
Okay, so but it does have to be in the same project to be able to call form1.
Yeah, because it won't find it anywhere.
Okay.
Because everything like system and all that shit is like, how can I say that? Like auto included in a C# project, because system is C# pretty much.
Right.
So yeah, let's have
but
another
theoretically,
class.
you could make your own version of that.
Yeah, you can make your own language if you want.
Fuck.
Like everything that is coded, everything that is a language has been coded by someone in another language. That I think C# comes from C++, and I think C++ comes from C, which comes from assembly, I think, or
Fucking
maybe
visual
something else
basic.
between them, and then like all the way to like binary code. So yeah. All right, why does it? Okay, it has like Unity by default. That's because I work in Unity all the time. All right, so we have like a new class here, which is in my project, but it's not. If I do like public class, let's call it like class. We don't mind much, but it's not in my namespace, right? So like I said, I can call like form1. Like if I want to make a new form1, call it like form. That should not work. There you go. But if
I was
like,
gonna say, oh my god, it knows all.
That should work. Does it? Please work. Do I have like to call something else before?
System.form1.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, it's there though. It says like, hey,
yeah,
it's there.
I see it. It recognizes it.
I'm gonna like write it again. Okay, I can make a form 2. Ah, it's because form 1 is the public, I think. Yeah, it is. Okay, what the hell? Whatever. So now I can access like stuff in it, like my form 2. In like another script. Just by using this. So yeah, so system is like a namespace pretty much.
Okay. That's interesting.
So you can do like a whole library of stuff within a namespace, which is pretty cool. All right, so this is for that line.
Jesus.
And we're like 24 minutes in.
Fucking strap in, boys. You're about to be here for 24 hours.
Well, I did say this was like a thorough, in-depth stuff, so.
That's true.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, so this is like another class. This one inherits from form, which is like the basic form class. So if I want to use like everything that informs, or like form.open and stuff like that, that forms do. Because if I just do that, it's like an empty class. So it won't like let me do stuff like this, which is a form method.
Mm-hmm.
So now it erased from form, so we can use like everything that forms do. Simple enough, I guess. All right.
Yeah, simple enough.
This is my other form, so I'm using it like a class because it's one, and I'm calling it add the comment form. So it's a new form too. All right. This is
okay. Could you give me a brief overview of why that is even necessary to say this is a new form 2?
All right, because this is just like your reference. Can I say that? It's like,
Yep.
okay, what do I want? I want a form 2, okay? I could do like just new form 2. Like this, right? And then I could like use whatever my form 2 can do because that I don't remember, but I could do that, right? Well, actually, what can I do? Nothing. I can access my stuff, but all right. But I want to be able to like access it with a variable, right? Like later in my code. Because if I just do like new form 2, well, once I'm done with it, once like, let's say this one is over. Pretty sure I can do it here. Okay, there you go. Then do like show, right? So that's just gonna show like a new form. But if later in my code I need a form 2 again, and I do like new form 2 open or show, sorry, I don't know why I keep calling it open. Well, this is not gonna be like the same one, and it's gonna create like that would work. Like theoretically, how the fuck do I say that? Theoretically? Yeah, there you go. That would work, right? But like it's gonna create like new forms over and over and over. Like, yes, they're gonna be deleted at some point, but it's like harder on your machine to do that than just like have one and call that one over and over. And if you want, like, I don't know, like, I don't know, like I write something in my form and I want to access it later, but now it's closed. Well, with this one, I can like go get what I wrote in it, and with this one, I would not, because it won't be the same.
Okay, sure.
Let's say I could do like new form 2, and then I'm gonna go like, I don't know, let's say I have a function that's called like get text. Well, this was gonna go get the text in a new form 2, so it's gonna be empty.
Sure, it's getting from like a completely separate object, right?
Yeah. So that's.
Well, then let me ask you if so. Say you just chopped it off before the equal sign. You just said form 2 add command.
Yeah, and like this, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's gonna do an empty variable. This one's equal to like null. That's all they call it. Like this, or well, that it's the same thing, right? It's exactly the same thing. So I could do that. So if I do add command form.show right now, this is gonna crash. This is
really?
This is gonna tell me like this is null. There is no form in it. It's telling me you did not initialize your form, so it will crash. It won't work because it's an empty variable right now. But you can do that if you want to initiate like your form later, or let's say you have like, I don't know, like another form and you want to add it later in that one, then you can call this, and later on in your code you can like add the form in it.
Okay, that actually explains a lot. That's interesting.
Yeah. All right. So, and this thing, you can create your own, right? If you're like this one, I made this. Like by default, it's there. By default, there's one, which is like that one, like empty parentheses. And it's it's pretty much empty code. Like, okay, it creates a new form, but it does nothing else. But if I want to do something once I create it, I can make my own. Like once my form 1 is created, like if I do a new form 1, first thing it's gonna do is initialize my component. So do like this method, which is in designer, it's by default. Then do my refresh button, which is somewhere down there. We'll get there. And then do this, which is pretty much initiate my timer. Yeah, I should do like a method with this. Whatever. Oh, I'm gonna show you something powerful. Where is it? I don't use that very often. Quick action and can do extract method. So it just makes a new method.
I
and
do
I can
know about.
call it initiate timer. Bam.
So this is more or less just to tidy things up, right? Because otherwise
Yeah.
it doesn't actually.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But it looks good.
It looks great.
And people like that. And if you like want to get a job, it's a good thing to like clean your code a bit and like show that you can actually clean your code.
Sure.
Because like usually you won't be the only one to work with your own code. So even if you understand and you know exactly where your stuff is, as soon as someone else gets in there, is like, what the fuck is this? They say that like the level of how clean your code is like measured in number of what the fuck per minute.
Okay.
So yeah, like 2 or 3 what the fuck is a good code. Over that you're like so yeah. Yeah, there's a whole book on it too. Like it's called Clean Code. I think you can get it like on PDF for free online. It's pretty cool.
I actually do know what that book is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I've not read it, but.
Dude, it's kind of a nice like reading, like if you're like on the bus or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, my reading comprehension is about like 2nd grade level, unfortunately, but you know, yeah, I might have to check that out.
Yeah, but it's mostly it only says like you should not have to use comments. Like I know in school they're probably gonna tell you like do a lot of comments because explain your code to everyone, whatever. If you have to explain your code is wrong.
Sure.
That's pretty much so what it means. Like the name of your methods is pretty much your comments.
Okay.
And every method should do like just one thing and stuff like that. And like methods, like pretty much private methods, are pretty much just to give name to your lines of codes. You can sit like that. Like those 2, I was like, oh, this is to initiate my timer. I was like, wait, why don't it just says like initiate timer? Sure. It's way quicker to just go like, okay, I know what it does now. Like from a single look, then just go through the 2 lanes and be like, oh, okay, then it initiates a timer, right? Ooh.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Clean your code 101 with Maladiv Studio.
Yeah, really, just clean that shit up. Okay, so speaking of comment, how do you comment out large block shit? Because I saw you do it.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. The keyboard master, yeah.
Yeah.
Shift, Alt, and then you can just select your lines. Shift, Alt is pretty cool.
Shift. What are you doing? What? Okay, hold on. You're holding those 2 things, right?
You Alt, Shift, and Alt, and then just arrows. Arrow key.
Arrow.
To be honest,
okay.
I can't even use Word anymore because they don't have like all the things Visual Studio do. And I fucking hate writing like a text in something else than fucking Visual Studio. I could fucking write a text in this because I love it. And then you just like, well, //
Right.
And if you want, let's say I have like a bunch of like methods or whatever, and I want to go like, oh, or variables, and I want to go like, oh, private.
Oh, that's so nasty. Wow. Because I've been trying to do it some fuck all way. There's some
sometimes you go like
Control C. Yeah, that's literally.
Yeah, I can also like just Alt and click if you want.
Oh, what the fuck? Really?
So if you go like this,
oh, that's probably how I would
private and then Alt click. There you go. Take everything. Delete this.
Oh, that's actually
it's also pretty cool for
like
indentation. You can go like, oops, sorry, not that. I'm gonna show you. Like go all this and go like tab or Shift tab.
Sure.
That's pretty cool. If you do like your ifs.
Wait, Shift tab, is that like a
Shift
reverse tab?
Yeah, it's reverse tab.
Oh my god.
It's reverse tab. I'm gonna like put a picture of reverse slash somewhere in there. Okay. Oops. I just fucked everything up though. Okay. Also something very, very, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Alt and then your arrow keys.
Fuck.
And then you
Oh,
can
you're
so
just
yeah so then you
moving
can
where it's
put you can
at?
go like a whole fucking block and go like. This is
What the
freaking cool.
fuck?
To be
Okay,
honest,
so I would just, like,
the only
alt
thing I
shift
learned
it, and then I would-
the only thing I actually learned in school is all that keyboard shit. Everything else was like my teacher go, I just Google it, you know.
Yeah, right. No, dude. Honestly, I'm so prepped for that. I'm gonna get to school and they're gonna be like, all right, well, you're all working from home and it's all Google assignments. So I'm just like, well, shit, I guess.
Yeah, while we're at it, page down goes to technically the like it skips page down, page up.
Sure, just like skips like the whole screen worth
Yep.
of shit.
End and home, those are my best friend. End of line and home goes to the start of your line. So if you like forgot like a semicolon, or if you want to go like, oh shit, I forgot put that one private or whatever, and go like
Yeah, insert is my actual worst enemy.
yeah, insert sucks. Don't use insert.
Insert
Insert is
sucks.
like it's breaking everything. Delete. There you go. Can delete what in front of your cursor. Most people know that, but there you go. What else do we have? Well, I think that's pretty much it for like important stuff. This
The
one's the
big boy.
best one.
Yeah, that's huge.
And you know, Control R to rename everything. Control F to search your file. So like Control dot, which is pretty much the quick action in refactoring. So if you like what I did earlier, if I want to do like a function with this, I can do Control dot, bam.
Method and function, that's the same thing, just different word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, nobody cares if you like mix them up, but a function is actually a method is when it's a function but within a class.
Oh, okay.
So in class-based languages like C#, everything is a fucking method, and in like non-based, in that class-based languages like I don't know, JavaScript, then everything is a fucking function, but it's the same thing. It's I say class-based, but the actual name is object oriented.
Object oriented and like
there you
data
go.
oriented. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I kind of suck at words, so okay.
Yeah, no, that's it's understandable.
Yeah, okay, so I'm still on that line. Form 2. So that's my thing. If I want to, let's say I want to create an object like I'm gonna take like sheep for an example. Let's say I want to do like my form 2. Let's say it's a sheep, okay, and I want to give him like stats or whatever. So I say I want to give him like, I don't know, an age. The age is gonna be a number, so it's an int, and a type. I don't have like, yeah, it's gonna do this, but okay, maybe I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys that because there's one right here. So okay, so I can go like in my form 2, and I see new form 2. It's gonna say, hey, you forgot you had like your stats. So I can go, oh, okay, well my form 2 is 25, and his type is, I don't know, red, because let's say it's a red sheep, right? That won't work, but I'm gonna go through that.
This is like I don't fucking get this.
Yeah, well, pretty much it's because here I'm gonna have like in my form 2 I'm gonna have like an age, and I'm gonna have a type, right?
Okay.
But I want it like, I was gonna say populate, is that a word? I want to like give those things a value. Like I can do like age equal to 25, right? But I'm gonna have multiple form, and they won't all have. They won't all be like 25 years old. So maybe. So every time I'm gonna call a form, I'm gonna give it the age I want it to have. So here I'm gonna do age. Actually, this dot age equal to age, because both are called age. And if I just say age, since I'm within this block, it's gonna go get the one that's closest. So it's gonna be that one. So if I do this dot age, it's like that reference of. I don't know if I can explain that. Like you're gonna be making multiple forms too. Okay, let's just call that fucking sheep. You're gonna do multiple sheeps, right? So there's gonna be. So if you want to do like this specific sheep, then that's this. Because I could have like a method that is within this form, not well this class, that could be like accessed with like. Okay, I'm going like way over myself, but I'm going too fast. Okay, whatever. Okay, you do this dot h. Okay, there you go, and then you can go like this.
Basically,
type,
this is just saying, hey, the motherfucker that you're calling right here.
Yeah, because if you just do like type equals type, it's gonna do that type equals that type. Because like if you override it, it's gonna show you like the reference. Because if I do that one, then if I like this that type, then if I do this, it's gonna show it's that one. So it's gonna change like those variables to what I give him when I create it.
That's a bit of a mind fuck, but I get it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Powerful stuff. Yeah, about type. Well, I'll get there. In like 3 hours or so. All right. Well, that's for this line. There you go. Line number 2. Here we go. All right. It's gonna go like way faster as we go on, but so I have another class which is bot command. I made it because you can make many classes in the same file if you want. I was gonna do like that one here, but Windows form is like, if the form is not the first class of the form file, it crashes. So yeah,
picky, honestly.
Yeah, because I kind of don't like that it's underneath everything now. I like to do like my small classes like that, like on top of my file, but that's to your likings. So yeah, I have another class which is bot command. So that's pretty much the text and the delay that I use in form 2, right?
Sure, yeah.
So I have a string, which is text, which is my command, and I have an int, which is my delay in seconds.
Okay, quick thing. Why are these public? Why do they have to be public?
Because I need to access them here.
So you can access them outside of a different class? Or is it because you're calling bot command?
If they're private, you cannot access them outside the class. So let's say I do like a private int stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here, well, I have command list. Okay, that's gonna be okay. Let's do new command, new bot command. If I do new, bot command, whatever its name, and I do like new bot command, that's gonna. Oh, that's pretty cool too. So now it shows me exactly what I need. So I need a command, which is like, it doesn't matter for now. So let's do like this and this. And if I do blah, 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 dot, here I can access like my command or my delay, right? So if I do this, this is blue. And like the other one is, if I do delay, then that's 1.
1 second. Or not 1 second, I guess.
Well, now it's just 1.
Right.
4 seconds, I do something else later. But I can't access my stuff. And it's even gonna say, like, oh, I can't access this because it's private. If it wants to. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Well, if I do, like, quick refactoring, it should do, like, what the fuck? Why don't you want... Oh, whatever. Usually it says, like, I can't access it because it's private. So now you just go, like, okay, if I want to access it, like, outside, I can do this. But I can do it from within this class. So I can go this.stuff here. So let's say you have like something that works in the background and you don't want to like use it somewhere else, but you need a
Okay,
variable
wait.
for
Why
it.
is it pissed off about that?
Hmm.
Why is it pissed off about that?
I think because it's not like initialized to anything, or maybe because I don't do shit with it. Yeah, there you go. It's because I don't do shit.
Okay. Sure.
All right. So if you do something in the background and you need like a variable for it, you can make it private. So you're like someone else. It's private and public is pretty much to like foolproof your code from someone else, like someone else playing in it. So let's say I'm like someone else working with this code, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna use a bot command. I'm not sure how it works, but it seems to be doing something I think it does. And then I'm like, oh, stuff. I'm gonna like change something in stuff, but because I think it's what I need. But then it breaks everything else
Right.
because you like use this for something that I don't know. And there's like a like math somewhere in your code, and if someone changes that like that number, everything breaks. Well, you put it private, so when you just go like, oh, but command dot, well, you won't see like stuff, so you won't be able to play in it.
Sure. Okay.
Everything in code is pretty much
Just to foolproof yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole fucking shit of like clean coding is like to foolproof your code.
Okay. Airtight.
Yeah. So it's so this is a list of bot commands. So I have like many bot commands in it. Well, I want to fill it with many bot commands because now it's empty. A list is kind of like an array. You've probably worked with arrays before.
Yeah.
It's the weird bracket thing.
Yeah. No, so for a second I thought list was exclusively a Unity thing. Found out very quickly that was the case.
Yeah, it's like it's from collection generate in system.
It's it's a weird kind of system list. Because like for no reason, they're the same thing as arrays, but they're like more flexible.
Well, yeah, but if you can use an array, use an array. Because it takes like way less space and it's way less hard on your machine.
Less data intensive. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, this is pretty much if you need to like remove and add stuff at runtime. Then use a list. So that's what we have here with the whole like table and like adding command to it. So that's why it's a list. You need to initiate your list because it's kind of like an item. So if you don't do like new list, then it's gonna crash. It's gonna say no, blah blah blah. You don't have any list to add stuff to, and so on. Then we have the timer. Timer is a class of form which does stuff. Timer stuff pretty much. So you can like add timer like interval in seconds, and then this one thick is an event handler pretty much. So it's like kind of like the thing I was showing you earlier with the designer in the designer forms. Wait, blah blah blah. Those things pretty much. So it adds a new like method to this function. So this one is called every time the timer hits 0. So every time the timer hits 0, it's kind of like a list of like functions, but they're events, so you gotta call it as an event handler. So yeah, so you can add like a bunch, and every time it's gonna tick, it's gonna do all the method you listed in it. So this one the one we use is called timer thick. I made that one later. So that's pretty much it. So this is what runs when the form is called. So it's the first function of the whole program, I think. So it's initialize the component, so everything in the designer. Refresh buttons, that's because blah, blah, blah.
Okay, what is the point of an event handler?
It's what calls the function when something happens, I guess. So, like in Windows form, tick is a function. It's kind of like an update in Unity. Let's say something like that. Kind of like an update or a start in Unity, right? So when it does timer.tick, it does like it calls tick, every time the timer reached 0. Kind of like the update is called every time like there's a tick in Unity.
Okay,
every frame in Unity. So this is called every time it reached 0. So you add an event handler, which because this takes events, but this doesn't matter much, to be honest. What matters is this part, because this is the function we add. But since you can't actually add a function because it's not like a variable, well, you create a new event handler with that function in it. Because it's kind of like a delegate, but yeah, but we get kind of ahead of ourselves here.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, delegates are variables, but for functions. You're not gonna use that much except for like events, but it's quite powerful when you use it, like, correctly. All you gotta know is that tick is like a list of functions. So if I do, like, actually, if I call tick like that, it's gonna do all the function in its list. And if I do like plus equal, it adds a function to the list. So I added timer tick to the list of function that's gonna happen if time ticks is called. So it's kind of like just doing like in Unity, I could, well, whatever, update. Let's say this is update. It's like going in Unity and doing like this. I don't know why this one doesn't have a capital though. Okay. It's kind of like doing this. But like tick is called when timer 0.
0. Is that because of what tick?
I'm sorry? Got it cut.
Okay. I was saying there's a whole lot to unpack there, and there's absolutely no goddamn way that I could just like be like, oh yeah, I see this, and I just go off and use event handler in my own scenario.
No,
but
maybe you're not gonna do it right now, but
right. But I get the gist of it.
Yeah, as long as you know it's there, then at some point you're gonna go, oh yeah, I remember about like event handlers, and you're gonna go like Google, and okay, there you go. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
But as long as you know like what it does and like that it exists, then you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Or just like come back to the video and watch it again. All right. So there you go. And refresh buttons is for making sure my buttons are like turned off when it starts. We're gonna get there at some point. Anyway. So there you go. Like, we initiate our timer to 1 second because this is in tick and that's what I found. Seemed to be 1 second. So there you go.
Yeah, because if I'm correct, each interval piece is a millisecond.
Yeah. Something like that. So this is the event that happens when you click button 3, which I didn't give it a name, I'm sorry. That one. There you go, button 3. So yeah, that's bad code. I should have called it like start button or something. So I have a little something here. Boolean, which is like, is the program running? So is it running? Yes, then stop it. So timer.stop. It's gonna stop the timer, so it won't be like doing the tick event anymore. And then turn it to false. Yeah, because I have this thing here, which is how long it's been running. So set that back to 0, and refresh my button so everything goes like okay, like some are turned off and some are turned back on. And if it's not running, so if not running else, blah blah, turn it timer start, running is true. There you go, easy as that. So timer tick, this is what I was talking about earlier. So every time, so every second, every time it ticks, I like second running +1, well, plus same thing. And then I execute all the commands in my command list, which we're gonna get there. What was that about? Oh yeah, okay, that's for my text. And the bottom, the bottom of like right here, when I say like how long it's been running.
Oh, sure.
It updates that every second, and then does all the command. So we have a big for each loop here. You know how that works?
Yep.
Kind of like a for loop, but easier.
Yeah,
Like,
multiple things.
yeah, for lists it goes like very quick. It's pretty cool. So this is what we talked about the other time, like the whole modulus thing, whatever you guys call that.
Yeah, I think it's Modulus.
Modulus. All right. So I'm gonna like do a quick whoa. So this is like the timer, so pretty much how long it's been running. And this is the delay of my command, so what you enter on form 2, like the number you want. So let's say every 5 seconds, every 2 seconds. So every time the timer that's been running is a multiple of your command delay, because that's pretty much what this thing means. I should probably explain that. So what Modulus do is it's like a division, but it outputs what's left.
I think the remainder.
Yeah, the remainder of the
explain
division. There you go. That's how you guys say that. So like, I don't know, 23 divided by 5. Well, it's
just
you
3.
left 3. Yeah, there you go. So every time, like the remainder is 0, then by default it's a multiple of. So that's pretty much when every time my timer is a multiple of the delay. So that means it's been that many seconds. We'll execute the command. So every second it's gonna go through the list and go like, okay, is it the time to call it? Like, is the timer a multiple of my delay? Do I call it or not? And if it does, if it's a multiple of it, well, it's gonna call it. Easy enough.
Easy.
Yeah. This is from my other class, the bot command class, which is just like
Command enter,
send the
right?
command and press enter. Those are the functions for that. So this is gonna like write the command down, so the string we gave it in form 2, and then it's gonna press enter. Blah blah blah. There it was. Okay, this is to refresh my label. So this is the name of my label. Sorry, I didn't give it a name again. So .text, so the text of the label is gonna be equal to that string plus so time span is from system, I believe. So it's native to C#. You can give it pretty much anything you want, well, any int I think, or even float, and go like make it in milliseconds and hours and days and minutes, seconds, whatever, blah blah blah, and make a time span with it. A time span is like when it goes 0, 0, 2.00, 2.00,
Sure.
like on your computer usually.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go like, from days, so let's say 1 day, like 1 day, and then it's gonna give me like the time span from 1 day, so it's gonna be like 24 hours. So I do that from seconds because our second running is in seconds. So it gives me a time span from this. So it's kind of like just for formatting here that I use it, pretty much.
Okay.
I could have just like done this, but at some point it would have looked like It's been running for 75 seconds, but I want it to write like 1 minute and 15 seconds. So that's why I do this.
okay.
That's just why I do it. I do time span. Blah blah blah. This is my add command button. So this one, what it does if it's that it opens my other form, and it opens it in the if statement. Because we can do this. Show dialog. This is the powerful stuff. A dialog in Windows form is pretty much like I was gonna say like kind of an error window, like any kind of windows that goes like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" or whatever is a dialog window. It's like it's another window that pops in front of it. It stops like everything that's happening in the background, and nothing happens as long as it's not closed, in some way.
Okay.
So I open my form 2 as a dialog. So as long as you don't like do anything, there's nothing running in the background, right? Like this one doesn't work as long as this is on.
Really? Okay.
And dialog have results, and this one is, and I'm checking if it's okay. So when I close this window returns like a dialog results when it's done. So it's either like okay, error, no, yes, whatever, like stuff. Well, I'm gonna like just I think I have the list here. Like abort, cancel, ignore, no, none, okay, retry, yes, blah blah blah. Right? It can return any of those. So if it returns okay, then I do this. If it doesn't, then I don't do shit, right? Just go at the end and ends. Now we're gonna go into form 2. Oh, wait, no. That's not what I wanted. There you go. Okay. So the only thing I do in form 2 is that if you click the add button, I think it's called, like add, it returns okay. That's all I do here. Like, the form has a dialog result like variable by default, and I'm just changing this one to okay. That's all I do. So when it closes, it says, hey, it's okay now. Like I did okay, so do like what's in my if statement. Pretty much.
Run that guy. Okay.
So now it's gonna add like my command to the list. So command list, which is my list, dot add, easy enough. And now I had a new command but, and my new command needs like my string and my delay. So for my string, I go like, I had like, this is my form 2 that I called earlier, right here. It's called add command. So this is the text box, and this is the text in it. So I create a new but command with the text in my text box, and then with the value in the interval box number thingy. Easy enough. And then I refresh my list so we can see it. Remove button, just remove the, like, pretty much the same thing, just remove, like, at the, well, oh, okay, wait. Where do I do that? Right here, okay. Okay, so command lists, like those boxes, if you like double click it in your design thingy, it's gonna create like select index change like event, and this is what happens like when you click on stuff in it. So when I click it, I just refresh my button so I can like press remove.
Oh, I see. Because like you don't have the option to start or remove unless you.
So if I have something selected, it's like if I don't have anything selected, I can't remove. But if I do, then there you go. Because in my refresh button, where's that one? In my refresh button, I like take a look if like the list has something selected. -1 kind of means like there's none because it's on base 0. So the first one is 0 and then nothing is -1. So if it's not -1, then enable the remove button, pretty much.
Oh, so I guess that it allows for you to remove multiple things at the same time, yeah?
I could, but I don't think I can select many things with this as of now. If I shift click, no, I can't.
Oh, okay. Well, you'd have to add that.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Okay.
Or at least that when I remove, it selects like the other one underneath. I could have done
Right.
that. Could have done that. So yeah, so it removes at command list selected index, because when you click something, well, it selects and it gives like the index of it to the comment box. Did I lose you there? Because I kind of lost myself.
No, I feel like I'm on top of this portion of it.
All right. So then you go refresh command list. So what this does, it clears the list, because if I don't do that, it's gonna like add duplicates. So I clear the whole list every time I change something, and then from everything in the list, I write it down like in the actual box so that people can see it. That's pretty much like all like front end stuff.
Yeah.
It's not that interesting. So yeah, so my command, and then I have that little thing, and then the delay to string, because it's an int, or even I think it's a decimal. So it's pretty much the same thing.
I love the accent there, because when you said front end, it sounds like front hand.
Front
and so it sounds
hand.
like you're about to fucking bitch slap these guys.
I think we're pretty much done here.
Okay, yeah, I guess we've gone through a lot of the stuff in
yeah, like
from
the
stuff
first
higher.
part. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All just calls to everything.
Blah blah blah. Is there anything I want to point out here? I think I maybe have to... Oh well. This is where everything begins.
You just fucking.
Yeah, we have like in your by default, if you do like a new project, it's gonna do like that file, which is pretty much like, hey, do stuff like start my program, and that's gonna run a new form 1. So that's what calls like this first method. Easy
Right.
enough.
Yeah.
You don't have like to play with this
in.
much.
So this is just like on. I open up this application and all this stuff automatically.
Yeah.
Just run.
Because whenever you have like a program, it always plays the like main function first. Like you have like a default like file, and this one is program.cs, and it's gonna run the main function from it.
Gotcha.
Startup.
So that's always like the first thing that happens.
Yeah.
Is it like the equivalent of kind of like the awake function in Unity?
If you want, but not really, since Unity it's like awake, it's for the item, the game object itself, and main is like for the whole program.
Sure.
It's pretty much like pressing play on Unity, right?
Okay, right.
There's a lot of stuff happening in the background before like all the game objects appear and everything, so that's the whole thing.
Okay.
There's not much here, but like.
Okay, well then one last question on this whole thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why is there a reason that this is static? Is there a certain functionality that we'd want this to be static versus anything else?
I think it's probably because it's called somewhere, but I'm not sure, because like with static function you can go like and do pretty much call it anywhere actually, so you can do like program.main any freaking where you want in your program. So I guess there's somewhere underneath everything that we don't see that probably calls it.
Sure, okay.
Like in basic, like whatever in C# somewhere deep within code.
Deep within the code.
I don't know if I like put it just normal, if like it fucks everything up. Well,
it's just pissed off for some reason.
It's because it's static class, so it doesn't want to. It's like, it's a static class, it's gotta be static. Yeah, it fucks everything. Yeah, program is like a thing, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you don't have like, it needs to be static, I guess.
It just needs to be.
Yeah.
It's just,
yeah, there's no main static status, so okay. There has to be one.
It's like it doesn't really have to give you a reason. Sometimes it's just like, yep, that's how it is. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. You don't have to understand everything. You just have to like know what
Accept
you're playing
it.
with. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you don't have to understand why your car makes a weird sound. You just have to accept it.
Oh, that might be a bit of a yikes.
All right. I guess that's it.
Well,
We
yeah,
did it.
that's,
We went
you
through
know,
it
went
in
through
less
the
than
whole
an
damn
hour.
thing.
Oh, no.
Was it less than an hour?
No, it was 1 and 13 I have.
I was gonna say, I bet your ass it wasn't. But you know, still moderately timely. And with the right cuts, will probably be under 30 minutes, I
You
imagine,
think so?
maybe.
Maybe under 40 at best.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, sure. Do that
Look
again
forward to seeing the
sometimes.
video, and you know, maybe we can do some shit like this in the future.
Yeah, sure. Anytime.
Later, dude.
Ciao. Well, thanks for watching, guys. If you like that, don't forget, like, subscribe, whatever, you know the drill. If you want to be part of our in future video, if you have questions or whatever, please join the community on Discord. Links below. Follow us on Patreon. You know, get videos in advance. Some exclusive arts, devlogs, and whatever on our current project. And don't forget, take your pills.